It is finally spring. I live in Alberta where it is winter 10 months out of the fucking year. Like, it's always cold here, but we have finally reached spring. One of my favorite YouTubers, Lynn, I can't pronounce her last name and I feel very bad for butchering it, so I'm not gonna try. She recently made a spring favorites video and I thought it was very wholesome, so I'm gonna do it as well. I'll link her video down below so you can see my inspiration. I'm stuck at home because I am in quarantine, and what better way to pass the time than by making YouTube videos? I don't think my posting schedule has ever been this regular in my entirety of trying to be a YouTuber. It's great. Yeah, without further ado, let's start the video. A little disclaimer first, I'm not sponsored by any of these products, obviously. I just want to put that out there. I'm not sponsored. I'm not big enough to get a sponsor. Don't worry about it. First up, we have some products. The first thing on my list is Prozac. This is kind of a joke, but also kind of not a joke, because I'm taking antidepressants now, and damn, those are good. I don't encourage taking medication. Obviously, if you don't need it, don't take it. It's not worth it. I have been getting a lot of positive effects from the medication, but there's also a lot of negative things that come with it. Like, sometimes I have no feelings at all for like 3 days straight, and then I suddenly have a feeling again, and it's very overwhelming. But, you know, they're very helpful, and if you think you need to take antidepressants, try it. It might help. Second, we have Jones root beer. Honestly, Jones anything is fantastic. I love Jones so much, but their root beer, it's so good. I'm a big root beer fan. I don't know why, but I'm a big root beer fan, and Jones has to be the best root beer I've ever had, second only to A&W root beer, because that is superior to every drink. We then have these wireless earbuds that my sister got me yesterday. I wear earbuds to deal with anxiety because I get anxiety from loud noises. It's not the best, so I wear earbuds out a lot, and therefore my earbuds break quite frequently because the wires are worn out. So my sister was very, very nice and got me a pair of wireless earbuds. I don't know the brand. Don't come for me for not knowing the brand. They're so good. They tell you how charged they are. I am very much enjoying having these. I appreciate my sister greatly for getting these for me. Second up, we have got clothing. If you know me, you know I am a big fashion person. I love wearing cool, nice clothes. It's one of my favorite things. You know, I'm stuck in quarantine right now, but I'm wearing a nice outfit. Partially because I'm filming, but partially because, you know, I wanted to. The first thing we've got is this dress. I thrifted this a couple months ago. It has got to be one of the greatest thrift purchases I've ever made. It's such a nice dress. It's very comfy. It makes me feel like I'm a character in a Jane Austen novel because of the neckline. And, best part, it has pockets. It fits me perfectly, I want to say, and while it does bring slightly more attention than I'd like to the fact that half my chest is bigger than the other, we're just gonna ignore that for the sake that it's really pretty. Originally when I bought it, I thought it was fish. Like, I looked at it on the rack and I was like, hey, it's fish. And then I tried it on and I was like, hold up, those aren't fish. Those are flowers. I love it a lot though. I wear it slightly too much. Second up, we have this lovely shirt that I thrifted, I think on the same day as that dress. It was a great day for thrifting. I have had so many people tell me this shirt reminds them of Guy Fieri, and I don't know how to feel about it, but I do see where they're coming from. This is one of those clothing items that's so ugly that it's great. It's way too big on me. I thrifted it in the men's section and it was a large. This has to be one of my all-time favorite clothing items. I've worn it in a couple of videos now. You've probably seen it by now, and I know I talk about this shirt a lot, but it's a great shirt. We have also got these earrings that I made. Yes, I made these beauties myself. Basically, I got some little glass bottles at Michael's and some earring hooks and put dried flowers in it. And originally I didn't know how they were going to turn out, but they are so pretty. I love them so much. These earrings make me feel like I'm a fucking fairy. Like, the cottagecore jumped out. Once things are open again, I'm going to definitely go back to Michael's and buy some more stuff to put on earrings, because this is so lovely. I love them so much, and they're just so dangly and fun. And the last thing in this clothing section is these boots. These are such good boots. They have mud on them because I wore them when it was raining, which was a bad idea, but they're such good boots. I am a slut for heels. I got these at Walmart. because I'm poor. They fit really well. The amount of heel on them is like perfect. I'm taller than a couple of my male friends in these, and that's all I've ever wanted. My mom says they're too high, but my mom thinks any heel that's not like an inch is too high. They were a little bit uncomfortable at first, and I was kind of skeptical, but once I'd worn them enough and broken them in, they are so comfortable now. It's insane. I've worn these with so many outfits now. They go with basically everything. They're black. Black goes with almost everything. You know, I could wear it with this outfit and it would probably look great. I love these shoes. Next on my list of things to appreciate is media. I consume a lot of media very, very frequently. I'm a big podcast fan. I'm a big reader. I love TV shows, movies, you name it, I love it. So this section's going to be quite long. Bear with me. First up, we have Radio Silence by Alice Osman. One of my all-time favorite YouTubers, Kat. This is her favorite book, and I've been meaning to read it for a while. I read it. Oh my god, it's so good. The representation in this novel is phenomenal. I'm a podcast fan. It's about podcasts. Hell yeah. Alice Osman's writing style is also very, very enjoyable. Her command of the English language is very unique to her, I've noticed. For the first little bit I was reading it, I was quite skeptical, but as I got further and further into it, it was just a very gripping writing style. I love this book so much. I love all of the characters. That's a lie. I don't love Alad's mom. I love all the characters. I love the plot. I love like everything about it. The vibes are immaculate. If you have a chance to read Radio Silence, please do it. You know, I can't reveal much because spoilers for the plot, but it's about a girl named... God, why can't I remember her name? What is her name? Frances. It's about a girl named Frances who becomes friends with the creator of her favorite podcast, and that's it. That's all I'll tell you. There's a lot of drama. There's some gays. Quality. I stole this copy from my school library. It's not mine. My librarian gets mad at us when we take books out, so I just put it in my bag and left, and I was fully planning on putting it back once I was done reading, and then we ended up in quarantine. So I guess this is mine now. Second on my list of media is the Penumbra podcast. More specifically, the Juno Steel story, because I haven't listened to the second Citadel yet. Please don't come for me, Penumbra fans. I will listen to it eventually. This story, bro. I am so in love with the Juno Steel story. It's... how do I even describe how good it is? The second season is the greatest piece of media I think I've ever consumed, and that's saying something. The story follows Detective Juno Steel. He's a kind of non-binary. I don't know if that's the right word for it. He's a detective in space, chaotic bisexual. He's got a secretary named Rita, a love interest who's a thief. It's just so good. If you're here for brooding gays in space, you've come to the right place. No one in this podcast is fucking straight. The entire story takes place in Hyperion City on Mars. It's plenty of years in the future. Nobody lives on Earth anymore. Maybe they do. They genuinely haven't really touched on that very much. There is no straight cis character in this podcast. We have Juno Steel, who's a black bisexual main character with a explicitly male love interest, but who does show interest in non-binary people and women throughout the course of the series. And it's so good. We have his bisexual icon of a secretary, Rita. We have the gay thief. We have space crime lesbians. We have an aerospace space crime man. It's so good. I highly recommend it if you're into science fiction, but it's not purely science fiction. It is sci-fi. It is fantasy. You know, that is a big part of it. It takes place on Mars. But it's also just a very lovely story. There's a lot of angst, but there's a lot of comedy, and there's a lot of great parts to it. I really do love this podcast. Third is also a podcast, and it is also very gay, and that is The Two Princes. I listened to this podcast back in December, and I finished both seasons in a day. It's quite short, but it is very sweet. The podcast follows princes Rupert and Amir, who are princes of opposite kingdoms. You know, Amir's the prince of the east, Rupert's the prince of the west. There is a magical forest separating their kingdoms, and they have a prophecy that when they turn 18, they need to go to the forest, and one kingdom will rule above them all. And that doesn't end the way you think it's going to. It's very short, very sweet. Kevin Christopher Schneip. I'm bad with names. He wrote a very, very lovely podcast. If we get a third season, I will be very happy. It's getting turned into a movie. Hell yeah. And the last thing in this list is Call Me By Your Name. I'm very late to the party, I know. but it is a phenomenal movie. I'm aware that Timothée Chalamet stans have been talking about this movie for years, okay, but I was scared to watch it, and now I've watched it, and now I'm fucking obsessed. I watched it 3 times in 3 days. It's such a lovely movie. If you don't know what it's about, where have you been? Have you been living under a rock? Like, what the hell? I highly, highly, highly recommend Call Me By Your Name. It's very sweet, very gay, very sad. It will give you all of the emotions. Watch it with subtitles because a large part of it is in French, and I made the mistake of not watching it with subtitles first. Yeah, please watch Call Me By Your Name if you haven't. It's so good. And that is it. That is my list of things. I obviously probably have some more things that I would have talked about, but we're running out of time. I love a lot of things. Everything on this list, quality, the vibes are immaculate. I highly recommend any and all of it. Yeah, that's about it. That is it. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. It's something either way. Subscribe to see more videos from this face because I'm making more videos now that I'm in quarantine. And that's it. That is all. Goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed. Bye. One day I'll record an outro that isn't really awful. Today is not that day.